So, welcome back to my house, kids. After last lesson, we knew a little bit about equations of lines. But what if we only want a little bit of that line? How about the part between -1, 1 and 2, 3? So what if we only want that? Then, what we have is no longer a line, but a line segment. That is what you get when you connect this to that. A line extends forever in both directions. Here's what you get when you only extend it in one direction. Starting at this point and going that way forever, you get what is called a ray, as if it is shooting out a laser from that point into infinity. But whenever it starts and stops in a place that we can measure, it's called a line segment. But let's suppose that we have an arbitrary line segment, like 2, 1 going all the way to 6, 3. Sounds about right. And we want to go ahead and measure some things about it. How long is that segment, might we ask? The length of that segment is actually the distance between 2, 1 and 6, 3. Now, we've already looked at what it means to have the distance with the distance formula from last time. So we're going to do 6 minus 2 squared plus 3 minus 1 squared, and take its square root. 6 minus 2 is 4, so square it and you get the square root of 16 plus 4 equals the square root of 20. So that is going to be the distance between this point and that point, and therefore the length of that line segment. But what if we only want half of it? Then if you want to find the midpoint of a line segment, then you want to find that distance and only travel half that way. But it can be really difficult to travel half of square root of 20 somewhere up and to the right. So instead, to find a midpoint, you can go ahead and take y2 plus y1, so 3 plus 1 over 2, and that's your new y-coordinate for the midpoint, and your x-coordinate for it is going to be x2 plus x1, so 6 plus 2 over 2. Equals 8 over 2, comma, 4 over 2 equals 4, comma, 2. Meaning we can find a point in the exact middle of that line at 4, 2. So let's call this point here. I'm going to erase the lines that we started with. If you need to see it more carefully, pause the video and take a closer look. But I need more space on the blackboard, so I'm going to go ahead and erase some things, and we're going to get back to it in just a moment. So we have all these points here. We have the distance and what have you, but we have a lot on the board. So let's go ahead and call this point A. This point, which is 4, 2, we'll call it B. And the point that's 6, 3, we'll call it C. Since they're on the same line, the distance between A and B plus the distance between A and C, so we're going to call that AB with a little bar over it for the distance between A and B, or the segment AB, plus the distance between B and C, which we're going to denote the same way, equals the distance between A and C, because we're on a line that goes A, B, C, and they'll fall on that line with B between them. If C is in the middle, then we just have to switch C for B, but the point is that whenever they're on the line A, B, C, then AB plus BC is equal to AC. And also the fun thing about midpoints is it's equal distance from this point and from that point. Meaning, the distance from this to that is half the distance from this to that. Meaning, it's not square root of 10, as convenient as that would be, but since 20, if we learn from some factoring, is 4 times 5, and the square root of 4 is 2, then 20 equals 2 square root of 5. So half of that is going to be 1 square root of 5, meaning our distance from 2, 1 to 4, 2 is square root of 5. But let's confirm that. We're going to go ahead and take the square root of 4 minus 2 squared plus 2 minus 1 squared equals the square root of 4 plus 1 equals the square root of 5. We can do the same thing with the other 2 points because we're going to get 2 and 1 as the things that we need to square under the square root sign because the differences are the same. With that, that is a basic introduction to the distance formula and the midpoint formula as well. My bad, distance was the other day. So, I hope you can use this to do well in your homework assignments. And if you have any questions, you can ask me directly.